Continuing from New Orleans, joined by the head coach of the Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns, Billy Napier, our second Nick Saban assistant of the day. Also, your birthday yesterday, so we wish you a happy belated birthday. It's always nice to catch up with you.
Yeah, 42 years young, right? I joke around if I grow my beard out, I got a lot of gray hair, and tell people coaching football is easy. This 9-year-old little girl I got, she's why I got all that gray hair. So, two boys are easy, but Andy Joe's a handful.
You've made coaching football very easy for the Cajuns the last 2 years. 21 victories, back-to-back double-digit win seasons. That has never happened in the history of Cajun football. How has this process been so successful in Acadiana?
Well, it's been a lot of fun to be a part of. I think we got dynamic leadership. I think our university president, T. Joe Savoy, had a vision. Our athletic director, Dr. Brian Maggard, really to see him execute the plan, right? I think we've invested, we've created an infrastructure. They've given us resources to go hire really good people. And in general, I think, what is leadership? You take a vision and you translate that into reality. And it's been fun to work alongside those guys to be under their leadership. And, a little bit at a time, we're always trying to get it to make improvement. And we've stayed focused on that. I think breaking it up throughout the year, phase by phase. And certainly, I think we're in position, maybe the best group of players that we've had since we've been here. Whether or not we can get them to play as well, I don't know. But really pleased. We've got a good core group of veterans and an influx of young talent. So should be a fun year.
10 starters back on offense for a unit that was 12th in the country in yards per carry. 10 starters back on defense that was 6th nationally in pass defense. That's got to make you feel even better going into the year.
Yeah, I think we're fortunate. Good group of super seniors, not too many. I think we've got 8 guys. But amongst that group, the quarterback, the nose guard, one of our inside backers, one of our safeties, some really core veteran players that have experienced the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? Their career really reflects the progress that's been made. So I think they've got an understanding and appreciation of how far we've come. I think that's where we're going to benefit from is the leadership on our team. They've experienced the failure along the way, right? Hopefully we've banked those lessons and we've used those, and they can help lead the team. I think ownership at the player levels are really, really important. But those veterans, not only their production on the field, but their ability to use the lessons from the past to affect the team, I think is the most important part.
We've talked about the term super senior already, but Ken Marks is going into year 7. Is there another word we need to invent for that? I can't think that's going to happen too much across college athletics.
I call him Grandpa.
There
That's
you go.
what I call him. But, Ken is, first of all, Ken's extremely impressive young man, right? He's intelligent. He's articulate. He's a guy that's made the most of his experience. I'd hire him. I think he's that kind of guy. So we're pleased with him being back. He's always been a very productive player for us and certainly in position to finish his career the right way.
We've talked about it a lot on different things, but for somebody on the outside looking in, it's a lot of fun to watch Levi Lewis when you're not playing him.
Yeah.
What is it about his game that has really made him so spectacular in Louisiana?
Well, I think the guy is, he's just a very unique young man. He's from Scotlandville, Louisiana. He's a product of his environment, right? If you met his family, just really impressive. The way he was raised, what he's about, his character, his ability to keep things in perspective, to stay humble, to continue to work. He's really bought into our way of doing things in terms of the process and how he prepares. He's a relentless worker, and he's really a unique guy, right? I think he's, 5'8" and change, but he weighs close to 195 pounds. He's got big hands, long arms, a big trunk. He can really run. His change of direction, ability to make you miss. I think he's really improved as a passer and an overall as a processor. We ask him to do a lot in our system. So, his ability to affect the other people on the team is at the top of the list, right? So We say that the quarterback is the standard bearer of the organization, right? You should reflect everything that we're about. We're fortunate to have him in position to do that.
Maybe more so on him this year with Trey Regis, Elijah Mitchell finishing up their eligibility. But from the standpoint of Georgia Southern, the Eagles saw what Chris Smith could do last year, what Imani Bailey could do last year. I remember him breaking that long run into the red zone to set up a touchdown. So it's not as if you're in a difficult spot. It's just in a spot where maybe there's not a ton of experience, but it's still a lot of ability.
Yeah, Chris Smith has played throughout the last couple of years. We're fortunate that he was the kick returner.
Sure.
So he's used to the limelight. He's used to having to prepare to play. We gave him carries last year at times. He was kind of the third guy in that three-man rotation that we use. So I think he's chomping at the bit to be the marquee guy. And he's had an incredible offseason. Some of these GPS numbers that he's been putting up are unbelievable. So he's gained weight. He looks really good, and I think he's primed to take advantage of the opportunity.
You talk about him being a big returner for you guys, but one of the things that probably doesn't get talked a whole lot about at Media Day is special teams a lot of times. But Phil Steele, I think, has you guys at number 7 in the country of your special teams unit. What has made that unit what it has been in Louisiana?
Well, we make it a priority. I really believe that it's where you start when you want to build the culture on your team. You start with special teams. We call them game changers, right? So it's a big part of our culture in terms of what we do. It's oftentimes the first opportunity that you get as a young player, right? It's a combination of offense and defensive players playing at the same time. Oftentimes maybe you're the 5th best inside backer, you're the 7th receiver, you're the 4th running back. What we try to do is create as many roles as possible on our team. Our belief is that the more players that know they're going to play and they're on that bus headed to the stadium, the better chemistry, morale, and energy that you have. So we try to create roles for players. We work hard at it throughout the entire year. We allocate time for it. We've got really good leadership in that area. And our staff takes tremendous pride in it. So I think it's a big part of what we do. We've been fortunate. We always go to the park saying, hey, let's make a few game-changing plays today. We've been fortunate to do that. So it is an area where we need to improve and be more consistent, but it impacted a lot of the games that we played last year.
This program has gone from the top program in this league to struggling towards the end of the Mark Hudspeth era. You come in, go 7-7. Since that start, though, you're 21-3 in your last 24 games. At what point did you feel your message, your process really start to take hold?
Well, I think that first year we were an awful football team, the first half of that first year. I think we had a lot of good parts, but we weren't much of a team. We had obvious issues from a personnel standpoint, but in general, I think we found a way to beat Arkansas State. I think it was a shootout. It was like 45-42 at about the halfway point. They were picked to win the West. They were picked to win the league that year. And I think that at that point I was just like, man, I hope we can have some success here at the end of the year so that they'll buy into this work, because we work, So then all of a sudden, okay, hey, we put together a few wins. We start to improve our play, and I think they bought into that work, right? And we made a little run there at the end of the year, won the West, got in the championship game, gave App, I think played App to a 10-point championship game, and then got into a bowl game. So in general, I think that's when it, became real. Hey, look, this is working, right? And we need to continue that trend. So, but each year is a different year, right? It's 2021. This is a new team. It's a new year. It's a new set of challenges and opportunities. We've got an entirely different group of players, a new staff dynamic, and a lot of roles to be determined. So That's what's fun about it. It's what I love about it, right? Everybody's got a smile on their face today.
Everybody's undefeated today.
Everybody's 0-0, you know, and everybody's got a lot of confidence in what they can do. So, you know, we got a week and a half left of summer. We're going to try to finish strong, and then we'll transition into training camp here, give the players a couple days off, and staff's back at it on Monday.
This West Division has 3 new head coaches. You're the clear favorite in the West. We've already talked about the exploits of the last couple of years and how well that this team has done. With so many guys back that have already experienced that success, how do you take that next step, added motivation, to become maybe the top G5 program?
Well, I think that, you know, you'd like to think that your team isn't motivated by external factors. I would like to think that we've created an expectation in terms of how we prepare, how we work. I think we're benefiting from having a core group of veteran players that believe in what we do and how we do it. Our approach is really to break the year up into phases. We've got 8 phases that we work our way through. I think it's a lot easier to get young people to work kind of 1 month at a time, you know, maybe 4, 5, 6 weeks at a time. We have individual goals. We have very specific objectives and goals for the position groups, the team in general. And then we kind of erase the board and start over. So we've executed the foundation, the identity, spring practice, our discretionary period, May, summer 1 and summer 2, and then, you know, here we go into training camp. So in general, I think that's our approach. We worry about the work that we have to do today relative to the phase that we're in. And hopefully all of that adds up. And the key is to get the players to buy into what we do today is going to affect how we can play when given the opportunity to compete in the fall.
Didn't get a chance to do this last year because of COVID. We enjoyed catching up with you, and we will see you in Statesboro on September the 25th. Appreciate the time.
All right, guys. Thank you all.
Thanks, Billy.